Decoding the Bhagavad Gita, Chapter-1, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Have you ever stood at a crossroad feeling completely lost, not knowing which path to take? Have you ever felt overwhelmed by a situation where your heart tells you one thing but your mind says another? What will you do if in a moment of crisis everything you believed in suddenly seemed meaningless? These questions are not just philosophical. At some point in life, we all face them. And so did Arjuna, the mighty warrior on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Welcome to Become ZeroMind, where we dissolve all illusions, entanglements, and find true freedom. In this series, we embark on a profound journey of decoding the Bhagavad Gita, one chapter at a time. Each episode will not just summarize but deeply explore the layers of wisdom hidden within its verses. Today, we begin with Chapter 1, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the yoga of Arjuna's dilemma. The Bhagavad Gita begins dramatically. Two massive armies stand on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, ready for war. Thousands of warriors, kings, and heroes await the sound of conch shells. And right in the center of it all, the Arjuna, greatest warrior of his time, asks Krishna, his chariot, to place their chariot between the two armies. But what happens next is unexpected. As Arjuna surveys the battlefield, he sees his own family, his teachers, uncles, cousins, and friends on both sides. Suddenly, an unstoppable flood of emotions paralyzes him. The same warrior who had never hesitated in battlefield now trembles in fear and sorrow. His bow slips from his hand. His mind is in turmoil. Why? What happened to Arjuna? This is not just a warrior's crisis. This is a universal human crisis. Arjuna is caught between dharma, duty, and love, righteousness and emotion, war and peace. He asks Krishna, what is the point of winning this war if it means killing my own people? Is not it better to renounce everything than to fight and cause so much destruction? Will I not incur sin for killing my own kin? His hands trembles, his body sweats, his mind clouds with confusion, and in that moment Arjuna collapses. The greatest warrior of his time sits down in his chariot, utterly broken. And here is where the real significance of Chapter 1 lies. This chapter is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the yoga of Arjuna's despairs. But how can despair be yoga? Because yoga means union, and crisis is often the moment that pushes us towards deeper understanding and self-realization. Think about it. Haven't the biggest changes in our lives come from moments of deep struggles? Haven't we found our greatest wisdom not when everything was easy, but when we were lost, broken, searching for answers? Arjuna's breakdown is not his weakness, it is the beginning of his awakening. Philosophical reflections and deeper meaning. The battlefield of Kurukshetra is not just a physical war zone, it is a metaphor for life itself. The two armies, they represent our conflict thoughts. The weapons, they represent our decisions. Arjuna, he represents all of us, standing in the middle of lives, struggling between what we should do and what our heart desires. How many times have we faced a situation where our mind knows what must be done, but our heart refuses to act? This chapter is a perfect mirror of our struggles, the war between our responsibilities and emotions, the battle between right and wrong, duty and personal desires, the paralysis that comes from the overthinking and fear of consequences. In today's world, Arjuna's dilemma is even more relevant. A doctor saving lives but seeing suffering every day. How does he balance duty and emotions? A soldier protecting the nation. How does he justify the destructions caused by a war? A leader making tough decisions. How does he bear the weight of responsibilities? At some point, we all become Arjuna, and that's why the Bhagavad Gita begins not with answers but with questions, dilemmas, and uncertainty. Because wisdom does not come when we already have clarity, it is born in moments of confusion. The turning point, the role of Krishna. But here is the most important part. Arjuna's despair is not the end of the story, it is the beginning of his transformation. And who is standing beside him? Krishna. Krishna remains calm, observing Arjuna's emotions turmoil. He does not judge, interrupt, or give instant solutions. Instead, he allows Arjuna to express his pain fully. Because only when we acknowledge our confusion can we begin to seek real answers. And that is where chapter 1 ends, not with solutions, but with the realization of Arjuna needs guidance. In the next chapter, Arjuna will surrender his ego and ask Krishna to guide him, and that's where the real teaching of Bhagavad Gita begins. So, what does this chapter teach us? Christ is not the end, it is the beginning of awakening. Just like Arjuna, our deepest despair can be the doorway to true understanding. Confusion is necessary before wisdom. We must first accept our own doubts before we can find clarity. The battlefield is within us. Our biggest battlefield are not with others but within our own mind. As we move forward in this series, we will see how Krishna guides Arjuna step by step from despair to enlightenment. But before we move into chapter 2, I leave you with one question. What is your Kurukshetra? Where in your life are you facing a battle between duty and emotion? And what would you do if Krishna himself stood beside you today? Let's reflect on this, and in next episode we will dive into chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga, the path of knowledge. Stay tuned as we continue decoding the Bhagavad Gita one chapter at a time.